In this video, we would see how to share data with standalone Docker containers from the host machine. And also we would see how to persist data in a container. In the diagram, we have the host machine and we have some Docker containers running in the machine. So we have some data which needs to be shared with the containers. And also we would see how to persist the data in a container. So for these two cases, we have two solutions. One is using bind modes. And the second one is using Docker volumes. In this diagram, we can see that there is a host machine. In the host, there is a container running. Both the bind mode and volume can be used to share the data between container and host. The only difference between bind mode and volume is who will manage this data in the host machine. In case of Docker volume, this data will be managed by Docker engine itself. But in case of bind mode, this data can be stored anywhere in the file system. That means we can create any directory and we can share that directory to the container. Whereas in case of Docker volume, there will be a specific directory which will be created in the Docker storage that will be managed by Docker engine. Now let us see how this bind mount and volume are used to share the data between container and host. We also will see how the data will be persisted in the host machine even after the container is terminated. Let us start. Now let us start with bind modes. So this is the Linux host. Here we will start some containers and we'll share some data from the host machine. So for that, let us create some test directory. So this is the directory we'll share with the containers. So let us go inside the directory. So let us create two files. So this is the directory path. Now let us create a new container. The container will be created in detached mode. So here we can use two options for sharing the data. Either we can use V option or mount option. For V option, you need to provide -v and source directory :target directory. So here I want to use mount option, which is more descriptive. So for the mount option, we need to specify which type of mount we are using. So here I specify bind. Then we need to specify the source and target. For source, we have to provide our source directory. So for the target, we need to provide the container directory in which we share our files. So here I will use temp directory. Under the temp directory, I will use testdir. That means the files inside this test directory will be shared with this directory inside the container. So here I will use the name of the container as testcon1. For the image, I am using nginx. So let us execute this. So now the image is getting downloaded and it will create a container out of this image. So now the container is created. Let us check the container with docker ps command. Let us go inside the container and we'll check whether the data is shared correctly or not. And the container name is testcon1. I'm using the bash shell. So now we are inside the container. So let me go to the temp directory. So now we can see that a test directory is created in the container. So let us go inside this. So this means we have successfully shared our data from the host to container using bind modes. So let me exit from here. So now we have shared the data. So by default, if you don't give any other option with respect to permissions, so the data, whatever we share, we have read-write permissions. But if you want to give only read-only permission, then we have to provide the read-only option. So for that, let me create another container. So I am providing a new option, read-only. So now the container will have read-only option for the data, whatever it is shared. So here I will use new container, test container 2. So let us execute this. Now again docker ps. So now a new container is created. Let us go inside this. So now we are in the container 2. So let us try to create a new file in this directory. So now we can see that we have got the message as read-only file system. This way, if you want to share some directories with read-only option, then we have to provide corresponding read-only option while creating the container. So now we have discussed about bind modes. Now let us see how we share data between the container and the host using Docker volumes. Let us create a sample volume using Docker volume command. So I will give test volume. So a volume is created. Let us list this volume. So now we can see that a test volume is created. Now let us inspect this test volume. From the output we can see that the mount point is under where-lib docker, which is the default storage for our Docker engine. So this directory is managed by Docker engine. So we should not modify any data in this directory. Now let us create a new container and also we'll mount this volume inside the container. So we can provide the name of the container. Again, we can use two options here for the mount. Either we can use -v option or mount option. So I am using mount option here. Type is equal to volume. The source should be name of the volume. We have already created this volume. If it is not there already, then a new volume is automatically will be created. So now we have to provide the target as well. So the target should be the directly inside the container. Let us use temp test3ar and the name of the image. So let us verify the container now. So we see that a new container is created. Let us go inside the container. So now we are inside the container. Let us go inside the temp directory. So now we don't have any data here. So let us create some data. Let me create a test file. So now the file is created inside the container. Let us exit from here. Now this text file should be present in the volume. We cannot directly go into this directory because this directory is owned by Docker engine and the permissions will be with root user. For that I am going with root user. Now we can see that the test.txt file is inside this directory. Now let me exit from the root user. So now we have seen how the data is shared between host and container using Docker volumes. Now let us verify the persistence of data by deleting this container. Let us delete the container. So testcon3 container is deleted. So now let us create a new container using the same volume. So here I am creating a new container with the name testcon4. And we are mounting the same volume inside this container. A new container is created. Let us go inside this container. Now we should be able to see the data in this volume which was created as part of test container 3. So let us go inside the test directory here. We can see here that the test file is still there even after we delete the container testcon3. So this way the data will be persisted using Docker volumes. We can also verify the same persistence using bind mounts as well. So in this video, we have seen how the data is shared from the host to the container using bind mounts, and also we have seen how the data is shared between container and host using Docker volumes. We also have seen how the data is persisted even after deletion of containers using Docker volumes. I hope this video is helpful. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching.